take a moment to find your way down onto your back. Lowering yourself into your Shavasana. Allow the feet to take up as much space as you have available to you, sending them out wide to the bottom corners of the mat. Releasing through the ankles and let the toes grow heavy. Release all effort from the legs. As the muscles, the tissues start to melt away from the bones and into your mat. Find softness through the hips, the glutes, the pelvis. And allow the low back, the mid back, and upper to grow heavy on the mat, supported and safe. While the back body is heavy, the front body remains soft and fluid, enabling it to move freely with breath. Shoulder blades tucked beneath you creates a sense of openness through the chest and the collarbones. Arms wide at your sides, let the palms face up. While the back of the hands grow heavy on the mat, the fingertips are weightless. Gentle tuck in the chin invites length up the back of your neck. Gaze is soft, the eyes opened or closed. Directing the breath in and out through just the nose. As you breathe in, let the belly rise up towards the ceiling. On the out-breath, belly softens, contracts. Big breath in, belly rise. Soft breath out, the belly falls. Big inhale, belly rises and expands. Exhale, belly falls, contracts down towards the spine. Continuing here with your own rhythm of breath. Just working towards lengthening the breath, slowing it, and smoothing the transitions between inhales and exhales. The mind has started to drift away. You can invite it back into your body. Let the limbs remain still and heavy on the ground as you turn the gaze over the right shoulder, sending the right ear down to the mat. You can play with the height of the chin, just find where it feels best in your body by drawing it towards the shoulder, towards the mat, or maybe a little away. Left shoulder is firmly rooted into the mat. You create space at the left side of the neck. Bring the gaze back through center, and then over to the left. Once again, grounding down through the right shoulder here. Body is stable and still as you send the left ear down to the mat. Staying with that slow rhythm of breath. Gaze comes back through center. Start to wake the rest of your body slowly, starting with the fingers, the toes, little wiggles. Taking gentle rotations to the wrists and the ankles, getting out any creaks or cracks that may have developed. Rotating the opposite direction. Reach the arms up overhead, still resting on the floor. Slide the feet towards one another. We're going to take a full body stretch here, lengthening from the fingertips to the toes. Feel the low back lift slightly off of the mat. On the exhale, soften, release the back down onto the mat. Big inhale, lengthen, full body stretch. On an exhale, soften. Big breath in, full body stretch. On the exhale, soften. One more time, big, big stretch. Exhale, let it go. Slide the feet to the bottom right corner of the mat. The feet side by side, the hips are slightly to the left or centered. Inhale, same way we just lengthened, only this time up the left side body. On the exhale, start to shift the upper body over to the right. So the head, the arms, the shoulders are at the top right corner of the mat. The hips are centered or slightly to the left as they ground down into the mat. And keep the feet side by side or cross the left ankle over the right with both legs straight. You can even use the right foot to add a little bit of traction, lengthening through the left side body even more as you send the left foot over to the right. Continue to send your breath into your belly. Noticing the little areas of tension of the left side body and inviting them to soften with the out breath. Uncross the ankles if they're crossed. Slide the upper body back through center. Let the legs find center as well. Take that nice full body stretch here. Neutralize the spine as you exhale, let that go. One more time, big full body stretch. Exhale, soften. Walk the feet to the bottom left corner of the mat. Take a big breath in, lengthen up the right side body, ground down through the right hip. On the exhale, start to slide the upper body over to the top left corner of the mat, creating a C shape or banana shape with your body. If this is too much in the shoulders, you can always release the left arm at your side and just reach with the right. The feet are side by side or cross the right ankle over the left. Uncross the ankles. Slide the feet through center. The upper body finds center as well. Big full body stretch here, lengthening The fingertips to the tips of your toes. Exhale, let it go. One last time, biggest stretch yet. On the exhale, release, draw the knees in towards your chest, taking hold of them, maybe interlacing the fingers around the shins or the thighs. Lengthening through the spine with each breath in, each breath out draws the knees in a little bit closer to your chest. Option here to bring your chin to your chest. Rounding through the upper back, lift the shoulders, the head off of the mat. Draw them in towards your knees. Curling into a tight ball here. And just noticing the breath becoming shorter and sharper. Focus on lengthening the inhales. Softening the exhales, letting them leave your body with control. Slowly release the head, the shoulders back to the mat. Maybe a gentle rock from side to side with the knees. Find stillness in the center. Lower the sole of the left foot onto the floor. Reach the right foot up towards the ceiling, interlacing the fingers behind your thigh. You can use a strap here to add length to the arms if you like. Really driving up through that right heel, reaching it as if you're trying to touch the ceiling. At the same time, grounding down through the right hip. Maintaining that distance between heel and hip as you start to apply gentle pressure to the back of the thigh, inching the toes a little bit closer towards the room behind you. Can you find some softness through the upper body here? Letting the shoulders rest softly on the floor. Start to take gentle rotations through the ankle, pointing and flexing the toes as you go. Rotating in the opposite direction. And just noticing the shape of those circles. Are they smooth and round or sharp and jagged like a stop sign? Is it different from one direction to the other? Pausing in stillness for one more big breath here. Keep reaching the right hip away from the shoulders. Take an external rotation. Turn the toes of the right foot towards the right side of the room. Bend the right knee. Let the pinky toe edge of the right foot land on the left thigh. Squeeze the two together. A flex through the right ankle brings the toes towards your shin. Send the right knee away from your shoulders, creating a figure four shape with the legs. And as you send the right knee away from the shoulders, you may notice the left hip creeping towards them. Can you square up the hips? Shift the left hip a little bit away from the shoulders. Both left and right hips equally rooted into the mat. If you're feeling a nice stretch into the right hip or the right glute, stay just as you are. Or you can reach the right hand through the space you've created in your thighs. Draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder. Take hold of the back of the left thigh or the left shin. If you notice that your tailbone or the shoulders are lifting up off of the mat, you may want to try using a strap between the hands to add length to your arms. Or even consider lowering the left foot down onto a block or the floor. As the left knee draws in, the right knee reaches away from the shoulders. Press the tailbone into the mat. Can you find that point where you have equal weight on the left and right hips? We're not leaning to the left or leaning to the right here. We're nice and neutral. Lower the sole of the left foot onto the mat. Keep the right leg just as it is. Extend the arms wide at your sides. Elbows in line with the shoulders, in line with the wrists. Draw the belly button down towards your spine with an inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, keep squeezing that right foot into the left thigh as you tip the left knee over to the left. Bringing the outer edge of the left thigh onto or near the mat. The sole of the right foot is facing the mat as the pinky toe edge squeezes into the thigh. Keep reaching the right knee away from the left shoulder. At the same time, reaching the big toe mound of the right foot down towards the mat. If you're enjoying this pose, stay just as you are with the option of turning your gaze right. Otherwise, you can bend at the right elbow, bring the right palm onto your chest. With the right palm on the chest, fingertips point to the left side of the room. Keep reaching the right knee away from the left shoulder. From here, without much movement in the legs, keep them stable, keep them still. Slide the right hand down the left arm towards the left palm. You can lift the right shoulder up off of the mat here, maybe even sliding the palm beyond the fingertips. Slide the right hand back up the left arm towards the chest as you bend the right elbow. Once again, right palm slides down the left, all the way towards the hand as far as you can go, maybe even a little bit beyond the fingertips. Come back through center, moving slowly, moving mindfully. As you go through these movements, consider reaching the right hip towards the floor. It does not and likely will not touch. We're just trying to keep it from shifting side to side. Come back through center. And as you find your way through center, release the right arm back to the right side of the room. Arms are nice and wide here. Belly button draws in towards the spine. Bring the knees up through center. And then over to the right. So the feet stay in the same position, right foot on the left thigh. It may shift more to the outer edge of the left thigh, that's okay. Gazes to the ceiling or over to the left, sending your breath to the lower left belly, into the lower left waist, and into the left hip. Bring your gaze back through center, the knees as well. Draw the right knee in towards your chest as you extend the left leg long to the bottom of the mat, wind relieving pose. Reaching through the left heel, draw the toes of the left foot to your face, release the right ankle. Maintaining length up your spine, up the back of the left leg. And then slowly release the right leg to meet the left. Taking them wide and finding a mini shavasana here. Just settling into stillness, doing a gentle scan of the body, noticing any subtle changes from one side to the other. Slide the feet together, draw them in towards your chest. Taking hold of them, hugging them in close. Be taking the knees in circles this time. In opposite directions. finding stillness in the center. Lower the sole of the right foot to the floor. Reach the left foot up towards the ceiling. Flex through the left ankle. Draw the toes towards your face. Really active through the back of the left thigh. Consider drawing the left knee towards your left hip without bending through the joint. The left toes are actively reaching towards your face, lengthening up the back of your calf. Start taking those gentle rotations through the left ankle. Noticing any changes from this side and the other. Change directions of the rotations. Is this joint able to move more freely than the right? Or do you find the circles more jagged, more rough? Smaller perhaps? Pausing in stillness, reach through the left heel. Take an external rotation, turn the toes to the left side of the room. Bend the left knee, let the pinky toe edge of the left foot land on the right thigh. Really squeezing the two together. Reach the left knee away from the left shoulders without shifting the hips. Square the shoulders up with the hips. Decide if you'd like to stay here or draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder, taking hold of the back of the right thigh, or maybe the right shin. Using a strap if you like, or placing the right foot on a block. It could be soft through the right ankle, but let the left ankle have a deep flex in it. Draw the toes towards the shin to protect the left knee joint. Can you stay open through the chest and the collarbones? Avoid rounding the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Reaching the outer edges of the shoulders down into the mat. Lower the sole of the right foot onto the floor. Extend the arms out wide at your sides, palms face up. Lengthen through the spine. And with control, let the right knee find its way over to the right side of the mat. The sole of the left foot is facing the mat or on the mat. With the pinky toe edge still squeezing into the right thigh, reach the left knee away from the right shoulder. Gaze could be at the ceiling or over to the left. You have the option to stay right here. This is a perfect stretch for you to land in. Or if your body prefers a little bit of movement in this moment, we're going to bend at the left elbow, bring the palm of the left hand onto the chest. The fingertips are facing the right hand, with the palm facing down. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, slide the left hand down the arm towards the right palm. The left shoulder will lift up off the mat, but keep driving the left hip down. Slide that left hand as far as you can. Both elbows are straight, not bent, and slide back. As you start to slide back, you can start to bend that left elbow, bringing the palm back onto your heart, left shoulder to the mat. Once again, starting to slide the left hand down the right arm. As you approach the elbow and towards the wrist, you start to straighten the left arm. Sliding palm over palm and maybe even beyond the fingertips. Come back through center. Palm slides across to your chest. One last time. Slowest and smoothest movement yet. Sliding the left palm down the right arm, towards or beyond the right palm. Really reaching through those fingertips. Sliding back. Left palm onto the chest. Release the left arm at your side. Gaze comes to the ceiling. From here, belly button draws in to support your low back. Gauge your core as you bring the knees through center. Keep that figure four shape. From here, tip the knees over to the left. Coming into a bit more of a twist here. The left foot can come on top of the right knee here for a little added weight, sending the right thigh towards the floor. Gazes to the ceiling or over to the right. Come back up through center. Release the left foot from the right thigh. Draw the left knee in towards your chest and interlace around it. The left knee draws in as the right leg extends long for your wind relieving pose on the left. Can you send the left hip crease away from the shoulders and into the mat as you draw that left knee in? The right leg is very active here. All the muscles engaged as you draw the toes towards your face. Big toe pointing up towards the ceiling with the heel resting on the floor. Draw the right knee in to meet the left, maybe this time taking the knees wide to the edges of your shoulders. Pelvis is firmly in contact with the floor. Allowing the belly to rise and fall between the thighs as you breathe. Draw the knees together. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Reach the right arm up overhead as you roll over onto your right side body. Really round through the back body here. Draw the knees in a little bit closer towards your chest. The left palm can rest on the floor or onto your thigh or hip. You can use the right arm as a pillow. The same way we breathed into our belly earlier in this practice, can you send your breath into the back body? Feel the back of your ribs, your spine expanding in all directions with each breath in. Finding some softness with each breath out. When you feel ready in your own time, finding your way into a tabletop position. The shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. Take a few minutes to just sway from side to side here, releasing through the back of your neck. Let the head grow heavy. Just moving fluidly, organically, waking up the spine slowly. Find stillness in the center. We're going to move through a few cat-cows here. So on an inhale, lift your tailbone, let your belly drop, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On an exhale, round through the spine, tuck the tailbone, chin to chest, gaze to the belly button. Inhale, cow, tailbone lifts, belly drops, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, cat, rounded spine, tuck the tailbone, gaze to the belly button as you hollow out your chest. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. For a moment, find your neutral table. We're going to cross the right hand over the left, so crossing at the wrists here. Let the hands be in the center of your mat. We're not over to a side here. Line up with the center of your mat, right wrist in front of the left. Start to pivot the fingertips towards opposite walls of the room. So the right palm is on the floor in front of the left, crossed at the wrists. The right fingertips are pointing to the left here, gripping down into the mat. Fingers, the palm are all pressing down. The left wrist is behind the right. Left palm is pressing into the mat as the fingers face to the right. All the fingers spread wide and gripping down into the mat firmly. Press down through the palms as well. Staying here and moving through 3 cat-cows, or returning to a normal standard cat-cow if this isn't working for you. So on an inhale, reach the tailbone up, belly drops, heart comes between space in your upper arms as you gaze up. Exhale, rounded spine. Cat. Inhale, continuing to press firmly through the hands as you go through these movements. You'll notice them trying to lift up. Actively press them back down. Once you've finished your 3, landing in a neutral spine with the arms still crossed at the wrists. Move it of weight into the right hand here as we slide the left hand over to the right side of the room. Start to lower the left shoulder onto the mat, the top left corner of your head as well. Square up your hips and press down through the left fingertips, the entire length of the left arm. You can keep the right arm just as it is, or you can extend it long in front of you, whatever feels best. Pressing down through the entire length of the left arm, opening your heart up towards the right side rim. It's as if the left shoulder is trying to reach towards the left side of the room, but the left palm is so firmly rooted it's resisting that pull. Bring some weight into the right palm as you slide the left hand back into its original position. We're going to take the opposite cross of the wrists. So the left hand now in front of the right. Still in the tabletop, shoulders still above the wrists. From here, 3 more cat and cows at your own pace. See if you can keep those elbows as straight as possible. Really hollowing out the chest on your cat. Coming broad through the collarbones on the cow. No rush at all, but when you get there, just landing in that neutral spine. Bring a little bit of weight into the left hand as you start to slide the right fingertips over to the left, bringing the right shoulder towards the mat. The top right corner of the head finds the mat as well. Pressing down firm through the right hand, the right wrist, arm, and shoulder. Choose the arm variation that works best in your body. As the right fingertips are reaching left, the right shoulder is drawing itself back into its joint and into the right side of the room. But that right hand is resisting any movement. Bring some weight into the left palm. As you find your way back up, turn the wrists to face their natural position. We're going to tuck the toes behind us. Start to walk the hands towards the knees, coming to sit onto the heels. You may be feeling a lot of stretch here, and that's okay. Stay just as you are. Not a lot of people stretch out the bottom of their feet. Really feel it here. If you have some more room to grow, you can come up onto your thighs, rise up, shoulders above the hips. Take this as a perfect opportunity to roll out the wrists. We're sitting down onto those heels, applying a little bit of pressure, a little bit of weight. You can even try walking the knees slightly away from the toes. Squeeze the inner arches of the feet towards one another. Once you feel like your wrists have been rolled out, you can simply place them on your thighs. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and find a sense of openness through the collarbones and chest. Slide the hands down towards the mat. Find your tabletop. Untuck the toes, give them a tap here. Let the big toes come to touch, the knees go wide apart. Shift your hips back towards your heels for a child's pose. Let the forehead rest onto the mat or onto a block. Breathing space into the back body, hips, low back and pelvis. Feeling the support of the floor beneath the forehead. Find your way back up to tabletop. We're going to reach the right leg long behind us. Find length and strength through the back body, shoulders over wrists. Big breath in. On an exhale, round through your spine, cat-like back as you draw the knee in towards your nose. Try not to touch it to the floor. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen, extend through the right leg. Turn the toes to face the right side of the room, lifting the right hip slightly. Bend the right knee as you step forward. Top right corner of the mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. You can have as much or as little bend in the back leg as you like. Both hands to the inside of the right foot. Turn the toes of the right foot out slightly towards the top right corner of the mat. An option to stay on the sole of the foot, or you can come up onto the pinky toe edge, lifting that inner arch off the floor. Stay here with both hands on the floor, or bring the right hand up onto the right knee, the right inner thigh. Encourage the right knee away from the hip and away from the heel. So we're going kind of over to the right and back a little bit. Be strong and stable through the left shoulder. We're not sinking down into it here. Open the heart up towards the right side wall. Lower the right hand onto the mat. We're going to stay here in lizard pose for a few more breaths, so you have the option to stay lifted if you like, or you can lower down onto forearms or onto a block, as long as you can do so while maintaining a straight spine. Consider shifting the left hip forward, the right hip back, squeezing them in towards one another. you're all the way down onto your forearms, you can come back up now. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor. We're going to heel toe the right foot through center. Finding a low lunge. So the hands are framing the front foot, the right knee is over the right ankle. If you notice it's jutting beyond the toes, it could mean that you have to lengthen your stance, so slide that left leg back a little more. We're looking for a stretch in the front of the left thigh here. So it doesn't matter how much of a bend is in the back leg as long as you're feeling that stretch. Inner thighs are drawn towards one another. As you're drawing the inner thighs towards one another, visualize also taking the outer edges of the hips and reaching them back and in towards the center. From here, we're going to start to walk the hands to frame the back leg, coming up onto the heel of the right. You don't necessarily have to sit down onto the left heel, but you're welcome to if that's more comfortable. We're just looking for a straight spine. So we're sending the tailbone down towards that left heel without actually moving the hips. Length through the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. And fold forward over the right leg as long as you maintain that straight spine. Draw the right toes towards the shin. Without actually moving the right heel, isometrically consider drawing the right foot towards the back of the mat. Slowly walk the hands forward, frame the front foot, returning to your low lunge. Bring both hands to the inside of the right leg, heel toe the right foot back to the outer edge of the mat. Shift your hips back as you slide the right foot to meet the left. A gentle sway from side to side with the hips. Find stillness in the center. Find your tabletop again, shoulders over wrist. Index finger or middle finger are pointing forward. Work down to the fingertips, press down to the entire index finger. Draw those forearms towards one another without moving the palms as you externally rotate through the upper arms. Staying active through the arms like that, reach the left leg long. Hips are square with the mat. We're not lifting up the left hip here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, left knee draws in towards your nose as you find a cat leg back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. As you exhale, belly draws in towards the spine, rounding through the back, knee to nose. Inhale, reach it long. Now we turn the left toes towards the left and open up that left hip. Bend the left knee. Step forward, top left corner of your mat. You can shift the hips forward a little bit, lengthen through the back leg. Find the lizard lunge that's going to work for you. As much or as little bend in the back leg as you like. Sole of the left foot on the floor, tipping onto the pinky toe edge. Taking a moment first to land in this pose. Setting the left hip back and the right hip forward slightly. Option to stay both hands on the floor or bring some weight into the right hand as you reach the left hand up onto the left thigh. Opening the heart towards the left side of the room, you can use this left hand to send the left thigh away from the left hip. Opening up a little bit more. Long, straight spine here. We're not rounding, we're not hunching. Bring the left hand down onto the mat. We'll be here for a few more breaths, so you have the option to stay up onto your hands, or lowering down onto forearms, onto a block, or a pillow, stack of books. One more big breath wherever you are. If you're all the way onto forearms, start to find your way up onto your palms. From here, we're going to heel toe the left foot through center. Settling down into your low lunge. So maybe from lizard to lunge, you have to shorten your stance. Bringing more of a bend into the back leg. Maybe you have a little more space here and you're able to reach the right leg further behind you, bringing it a little more straight. There's no particular proper shape to this pose. It's however it takes to feel the stretch in the front of the right thigh. Left knee is above the left ankle and drawn in towards the midline. Equal weight on both pinky toe and big toe side of the left foot. Can you stay a little bit more open through the chest, the collarbones? Keep it lengthen your neck. And we'll start to walk the hands back towards the hips, coming up onto the heel of the left. Straight spine here. So rather than thinking about touching your forehead to your knee, you want a straight front leg and a straight spine. So instead consider reaching your heart beyond your toes. Find length of your neck by gently tucking your chin in towards your chest. Reach the tailbone away from the top of the head as if it's trying to touch the heel, but the top of your head is reaching towards the ceiling, resisting that pull. We're looking here for a stretch into the back of the left thigh. Start to walk your hands forward to frame the front foot. Returning to your low lunge. Both hands come to the inside of the left foot. Heel toe, left foot to the outer edge of your mat. And slide it back to meet the right. A gentle sway from side to side with the hips. And then we'll come to land on our backs with the knees bent to begin. Arms at your sides, palms can face up. Walk the feet nice and wide apart. Allow the knees to come in towards one another and touch. Just taking a moment here to allow the low back to reset and release any tension that may have developed in it during those poses. Breathe space into the low back and notice how the points of contact between the mat and your back change with every breath. This is always a great alternative to Shavasana if you have low back sensitivities or hip sensitivities that make it uncomfortable to lie on your back. You can always take this pose here. We're going to heel toe the feet towards one another. Press it down through the feet, lift the hips and shift them slightly over to the right. Draw the knees in towards your chest and with control, let them find their way over to the left side of the room, coming into a twist. Now we want that right shoulder to stay in contact with the mat. That may mean that the knees don't get nearly as close to the floor, that's okay. You can always fill that gap with a pillow or a block. or just let them hover in space. The arms can be wide at your side or up overhead in cactus, and the gaze can be neutral or over to the right. Let the gaze come back through center, knees will follow. Lower the feet onto the mat and let your hips lift up, maybe sway them side to side before landing them in neutral position. Press down to the feet once again, shift the hips slightly to the left. Draw the knees towards your chest and with control over to the right. Rounding down through the left shoulder and choosing whether you'd like your gaze to be at the ceiling or over to the left. Now, if you have low back sensitivities, it may feel good to put a block or a pillow between the knees, just to create some space in the low back. Let your gaze come back through center. The knees will follow. Lower the feet onto the floor, lift the hips up and give them a sway. Just to neutralize them. Lower them back down and center. The soles of the feet come to touch. Let the knees fall wide apart like a diamond. So with the soles supporting one another, the knees open like a book, hovering above the floor. Just checking in here. The closer the heels are to the pelvis, the more of a stretch you'll be feeling. So what is it you're looking for in this moment? For more of a stretch, draw the heels in towards the pelvis. Or to ease off a little bit, send the toes away from the pelvis, maybe even support the knees with pillows or blocks. Allowing it to become more restorative. Place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. And without trying to change its rhythm or rate, just become aware of the body breathing. Invite the eyes to close as you witness the belly and chest rising and falling with breath. From there, start to direct the breath in and out through just the nose. This time, as we breathe in, see if you can fill up the chest and only the chest. Leave the belly still. On the out-breath, the chest softens and contracts back down towards the heart. Then inhale, the chest, the heart, and all the space between starts to expand in all directions. The exhale, it softens, contracts. Inhale, belly is still, chest is expanded. Exhale, let that go. One more time, big breath in, chest is rising and expanding, creating space. On the out breath, it softens and finds stillness. This time transitioning the inhale into the belly as it rises up to the sky. On the out breath, belly softens and falls, the chest remains in stillness. Inhale, big breath in, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. Inhale, belly rise. And exhale, belly falls. Releasing that effort and allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm and rate. Just noticing the feeling of the chest, heart, belly. And while maintaining that awareness of breath, one by one, start to release legs towards the bottom corners of the mat. Release the arms at your sides, let the palms face up, taking up as much space as you have available to you. Starfishing your body out in all directions. Still maintaining that same awareness of breath. Allow that to be the point of focus. As you release all effort from the limbs, you begin to grow heavy and melt into your mat. Invite the eyes to close perhaps. Let the gaze be soft behind the eyelids. Find space between the teeth by relaxing the jaw and allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. Sounds around you begin to fade off into the background until they're nothing more than an echo, faint whisper in the distance. All that remains is the sound of your own breath moving in and out through your nose. This space, this practice of breath can continue to be yours for as long as you invite it to be. Allowing yourself to stay in this stillness, this moment of relaxation for as long as you have available. When it is time to get up and go, do so slowly and mindfully. Allow leaving your practice to be a part of your practice. With such gratitude for you joining me in practice today and always, Namaste.